Good evening, everyone. I welcome you all to IAS Icons. This is me, Kapil Sikka, and today we have a very special guest with us. Sir will be taking up the CSAT. You must have seen the thumbnail up till now that we are introducing a CSAT guru now who will be taking care of all your CSAT problems. So, on this platform, I would first like to welcome Rishi Bhargav, sir. Sir is a very prominent name in CSAT. If you see, he has a 10-year experience. He has been teaching since the day CSAT was introduced, and in this 10 years of his teaching he has mentored thousands of students which have taken benefit from sir's classes, which have been into services now. And now today onwards he'll be with us, he'll be sharing his tips and tricks so that you shall become one of them who has already got the benefit. Very warm welcome, sir, on this
Sir,
platform.
good evening. Good evening to all the viewers and audience.
Thank you
My
so much
greetings
for
to
thank
all
you
of
so
you.
much for joining us, sir. And as we can see that CSAT is becoming a problem for students now. Students every now and then keep asking us what exactly we have to do in CSAT, what exactly CSAT should consist of, how should we prepare for that. So keeping this in mind, we have planned to start sessions with you. And I just want to start with the very first question, कि how you will be moving forward. What shall be your strategy as of now to mentor our students who are eagerly waiting for your CSET classes?
Well, sir, for past few years, I'm really tired of one sentence, and that sentence is, sir, GS तो हो गया, CSAT नहीं हुआ. So
Exactly.
people are actually able to clear cutoff for GS, but they were not able to make, CSAT cutoff. So that is really disheartening for a teacher because we realize that trend of the paper has changed after every 3 4 years. But last year, surprisingly, sir, you would actually be really really taken aback when see when this UPSC exam happened. So the most trending sentence on the social media was CSAT is tougher than CAT. So what they have started asking is something which actually nobody thought about, nobody even gave a look to it. Like, they are into numbers. When they are into numbers, they are into remainders. Now remainders happen to be the toughest questions. So and the tricks that they are expecting is a level which is beyond a normal regular level. Similarly, you would be surprised that word's toughest reasoning is considered to be data sufficiency, where they put a question, and after a question, they would give you two statements, and then they would ask for the validity of the statements. Now, this
Exactly.
is something which was never expected because GMAT people would ask, CAD people would ask. Now, last year, there were 9 questions on data sufficiency. So we just cannot interpret the paper with the previous year papers. When it started, it was actually a kind of a easygoing paper. Basic mental ability, basic reasoning, then a lot of English. Now there was a total 40-40 weightage on that. 40%, 40 questions would come from the section of mental ability and data interpretation, and 40 would be from English, which
Exactly.
students also found that this is a very comforting paper. English was probably more on the passages itself, and with the passage of time, it happened 2016 onwards, there are 55 to 60 questions on mental ability, reasoning, data interpretation, and 20 to 25 questions on English, and that basic English is reading comprehension, nothing else. Now we cannot interpret it because when we started teaching, number system is a basic topic that we used to teach, and students used to fight with us, sir, why are you teaching? Because UPSC aspirants generally are very conscious about previous year questions. So past 3 years they have been asking numbers, and they are not asking geometry. So who knows, after maybe next year they put a lot of geometry and mensuration into the paper, or maybe permutation combinations in the paper. So I think that CSAT now requires a holistic aptitude development. It has nothing to do with that you pick up some certain topics and then you can sustain it with one third of majority, because it is a qualifying paper otherwise. But I sincerely believe this has actually become a dequalifying paper for a lot of students.
Exactly. Exactly. Yes, exactly, sir. Very rightly put that something which is qualifying in nature has becoming a dequalifying for many students. In fact, I also heard one sentence from one of the student ki we just have to just have to clear just 27, 28 questions, whatever is the scenario. So this
Mm.
is what I think a notion student have been keeping in their mind, and this is what is actually creating a problem for them. They are just thinking about a minimum kind of questions which they should take up, which they should take down ultimately. So this is where I would just wanted to ask you that what exactly is the changing role of CSAT? On one side we are saying it is qualifying in nature, other side we are witnessing it is becoming a dequalifying paper. So how come this role is changing as of now? And
See, it's,
depending upon the role, what
Mhm.
measures student should take over here? What should be the uh, measures student should take recourse to?
See, most of the time I realize that when we go to the classes and we ask students, why do you want to join civil services? So students' answer is really, really, very honest answer that they want to change the system, they want to do something for the country or maybe for the town, or they want to do something for education, poverty, unemployment. So varied answer.
Hmm.
Now I genuinely, sir, ask students, how are you going to do it? The point is not that you become an IAS officer and then you're going to change the system. No.
Hmm.
First of all, if you become an officer and you join certain department, you have to read files and files of data. Now
Exactly.
how do you read those files and files of data? Obviously you require reading comprehension.
Hmm. Hmm, hmm.
Right? Your reading should be good,
Exactly.
obviously, right? Secondly, now you want to change something, you want to change a law or you want to bring a change. So obviously for that you need to have a data. Why do you want to bring a change? Where
Hmm.
do you want to bring a change? When do you want to bring a change?
Hmm.
So when you have a data, which means it is data interpretation, and once you are trying to interpret data, then you require normal mental aptitude.
Exactly.
So I just don't understand that why students just take it as a qualifying paper. It
Hmm.
has such an advantage that
Hmm.
once you are good at CSAT, obviously it is going to give you a headway in your career when you become an IS officer.
Hmm. Hmm.
So this is something which I also realize that probably people actually do not realize it right now. But
Exactly.
now with the changing trend, things have actually changed. Now people have started putting more attention. They are
Hmm.
giving particularly more weightage to CSAT as well. Now
Exactly.
as far as how to, the question was that how to go about it. See,
Yeah.
sir, I sincerely believe that students should understand that there is a hell lot of difference between preparing for GS paper and preparing for CSAT paper. GS
Exactly.
paper na, people would make notes. See, if they're doing polity, they would make notes. History, they will make notes. Geography, they would make notes. And at the end, maybe January, February, they start revising those notes and giving and appearing for tests. But now
Exactly.
CSAT is a question solving. So what they need to do is actually they need to attend the lectures and then they need to solve the questions. This
Exactly.
is where the UPSC aspirant is actually very wrong, because they take CSAT also as a part of GS, so they start making notes without solving questions. And once you're not solving questions, since childhood we know, sir, that aptitude is one part where you have to practice to gain confidence, to gain knowledge. This
Hmm.
is where students are actually missing.
Exactly, sir. Yes, exactly, sir. This is very rightly put that obviously we need to have practice-oriented approach with regard to CSAT, because CSAT is not GS. You cannot just cram, mug up, and just you can just reproduce in the examination. So let us say if students want to do a practice, so what we are going to offer over here on this channel, so that this practice-oriented approach can be built upon. Because this practice is very much part and parcel, and students are lacking the practice, as you have rightly pointed out. So what shall be the offering from our side, so that we can take care of this practice oriented approach?
See, sir, when we talk to students, mostly, when students are preparing for UPSC, so when we say that, have you seen PYQs?
Exactly.
For GS, I think only 40% students would raise their hand. And when we
Hmm.
say, have you seen PYQs for CSAT? So probably 5% student would raise hand. So it is
Exactly.
more of the mentoring that has been done by, previous year toppers. And
Hmm.
most of them would say, CSAT, I practiced from a book and, I got it through, or I practiced from test papers, I got it through. But
Exactly.
I do understand that everyone's aptitude and mental ability is totally different. Now, a student has to understand that by checking the PYQs, whether he or she is able to, cater to that kind of questions that are being asked. It is nothing to do with the, toppers, or it is nothing to do with the people, those who have cleared it. It is more to do with what exactly, student feels after looking at the PYQs. So our course over here at Unacademy is totally based on, PYQs approach. So meaningly, what kind of questions have come, what kind of, practical questions that we are going to deliver in this class would actually be totally based on PYQs. So they have a fair idea that, this is the way the questions are going to be put on. Now, why, CSAT is something that has not come from any of the books. That is something really amazing. See, if you check out other papers, you would find that there are regular questions from, arithmetic. There are regular questions from mensuration, but over here, all the questions are twisted. So most of the question you would find is that they're not asking you a direct thing. They're asking you indirect question. So the books that generally students would pick up from the market and practice, they would actually lack that kind of approach, because they have to, a book has to cater to a holistic kind of audience. So there is no specific kind of a booklet. So over here, what we are going to do is that we are going to provide students with a specific kind of a designed, program on CSAT, where it is actually based on, what exactly is being asked, what twisted questions, type of questions are being asked, and how to actually practice it, how to go about the questions, how to, probably understand that this is one question not to be done. It is not that you are going to attempt every question.
Exactly.
Sir, I was amazed when I saw last year's paper, and we started from page one. On page one, one question was such that actually it required, uh, amazing, expertise. So, he says a nine-digit number is divisible by nine. One digit is removed, it is divisible by eight. One digit is removed, it is divisible by seven. So this is something which actually, most of the students see. As a student, when we were children, when we were young, our parents used to tell us that whenever you have to start a paper, start with a question, and then, now you're not able to go solve question number one, two, three. Then you realize, you have nothing left.
Exactly.
So I think choosing the right questions is also important. That is the reason, this kind of course would actually help these students.
Okay, so with this thing, exactly choosing the wrong question creates a lot of phobia in the students. And as I can see among my students, I have been mentoring a lot of students, and I can see everyone has that CSAT phobia. Why so?
Mhm.
Because few of the toppers, they have told them ki just solve this particular thing. I have solved that particular book. I haven't done CSAT for more than a week, and this is where many students who basically come from a different aptitude. I would say, as you have rightly pointed out, that every student has a different aptitude with regard to CSAT. One of the topper is saying, okay, I have just devoted 7 days, so you also need to do the same, or other students might do the same, and this is where the phobia comes in. So the problem with students right now is either they are in an inertia because of the phobia, or they are in a complacency because that someone else has cracked in 7 days, I would also be able to crack this. So this is where the problem comes in, that in the either case he is going to or she is going to fail in the examination. So for that kind of scenario, what are your suggestions, how to, let us say, push that student out of the inertia, and how to remove that phobia in the name of CSAT, which prima facie seems to be easy, but
Mhm.
ultimately requires a lot of mental practice. So what is
Mhm.
your suggestion to remove these kinds of phobia?
It is more of, history, associated with CSAT.
Hmm.
Once CSAT was introduced, so there was a lot of hue and cry, because it is an advantage to students with the, non-medical background,
Hmm.
advantage to the engineers, and to the, non-medical graduate or postgraduate students.
Hmm.
So, suddenly, with all the hue and cry, it became a qualifying paper.
Hmm.
Now, once it is a qualifying paper, generally, students breathe easy that chalo, we are going to manage it within a month or two. But now suddenly for 3 4 years, students have actually become very intelligent.
Hmm.
So they would take a, good 4 5 months course. If they are not good, they will initially, take up a test, and maybe, PYQs. If they are not good, a good student, an intelligent student, would always go for this as a course,
Hmm.
because he or she understands, what are the weak points, and they
Hmm.
would cater to the weak points. As
Exactly.
far as, what we offer is that we offer a comprehensive course, where we start from ABCD, because there is a lot of problem with students, right? So there is a lot of comparison going on in the classes, because engineers are also sitting in the classes, and then non-engineers are also sitting in the classes. So there is a
Exactly.
lot of complex with the non-engineering students, basically art students, maybe commerce students, students with hate for mathematics, phobic
Exactly.
to mathematics. So they
Exactly.
would be sitting in the classes, and they would always have a comparison with the student who is going to give an answer. But my question to most of the students at that time is that, if there is a non medical or a non medical student, they also do geography, they also do polity, they also go for economics, they haven't done it after 10th class. So
Exactly.
what is a hue and cry about, sir? We haven't had mathematics after 10th class. So
Mhm.
this is one excuse that I don't cater to,
Mhm.
because if you are weak, obviously you'll attend classes, you will solve your problems, you will talk to your mentors, and you would actually obviously become really good. And
Mhm.
then, what is the advantage in terms of math students? There is no advantage. I know so many IITs and NITs last year, they were not able to clear CSAT, sir.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. This happened exactly.
So this has happened now. So at the end, everyone is attending classes. So
Yeah.
there is no partiality in terms of that he or she who is an engineer would going to is going to clear this paper, and others are not going to clear it. This partiality is obviously gone now, right, sir?
Exactly. Exactly. In fact, we can say that this phobia is nothing but a mental blockade created by a you can say a non mathematics background student, because as you have rightly pointed that when we started our preparation, so we were also from the science background, and reading polity, history, geography for very first time after
Hmm.
a lot of years. And moreover, in 10th also it was not the same syllabus. The things which we started reading over here, we had a lot of things to be covered. So ultimately this is where a mental blockade, I guess, is more with regard to CSAT, that student, they have this preconceived notion of perception that we will not be able to do this. And I have also seen that if you get the right mentor, if the mentor is very perfect, if the mentor is giving the right guidance, if the mentor is in itself is an experienced teacher who have been teaching in this field, so the problem will be easily you can say solved. It can be easily solved, and ultimately with that particular mentor we shall be able to overcome our fears. And this is where as you have talked about the mentorship over here, I just wanted to ask that many students in the market, or the toppers in the market, they always used to say that we have used certain techniques in the paper. These techniques
Hmm.
have helped us in qualifying solving the paper in less amount of time. Because ultimately I can see that the biggest blockade with the student is solving that very CSAT paper in the given amount of hours. So what are these techniques and tips? I mean, what how you dealing in the courses, whether you'll be taking such kinds of techniques, whether students will be getting certain kinds of ready-made tips and techniques which you have gathered from your past 15, 20 years of experience. So how you're going to cater this particular tips and
See,
techniques?
any paper that is an aptitude, right, has to be, done with a lot of techniques and a lot of elimination.
Exactly.
Now, if you are good at numbers, you should understand that this answer is going to end with six.
Hmm.
So why would you, even consider answer ending with five or four or one? So that
Exactly.
certain elimination techniques we are going to actually, talk to students about. Then, there is something called Vedic maths, quick maths. So, generally, that phobia that we had in our mind when maths was not coming in, that phobia is particularly eradicated when you learn certain new methods. So
Hmm.
Vedic maths is actually very helpful in catering to data interpretation as well, because data interpretation basically is all about a data and a calculation.
Hmm.
So you have a lot of good techniques, and by God's grace, for past 20 25 years, I've been training students for aptitude.
Hmm.
Though
Hmm.
I am a qualified mathematician, MSc Maths, MPhil Maths, and I've done my MBA in marketing.
Hmm.
But I must assure students that I haven't done and I haven't read anything like that. Whatever comes in aptitude papers, we haven't done it in MSc. We
Exactly.
haven't done it in MPhil. It was totally theoretical. So it
Hmm.
requires good knowledge, and by experience also. So for past 15 20 years,
Hmm.
we have been solving papers, we have been assisting students. A lot of students have made it. So we
Hmm.
also realize that we have also refined a lot of good ways, we have found a lot of techniques which
Mm-hmm.
maybe when we were young we were not having it. So this would actually be really helpful. I'm going to put on certain videos. Tomorrow onwards, these students are going to get some amazing content videos. They're
Exactly.
absolutely going to love it. They would never have seen that kind of content.
Mm-hmm.
So then they would realize probably, yes, like there was a question last year, divisibility on 7.
Mm-hmm.
So I can assure you that other than the method that I am going to deliver, no one can actually solve it, and I haven't seen a solution otherwise for the same question.
Exactly.
So there also, I think UPSC people also understand that obviously it is not a selection paper, sir.
Mm. Exactly.
Right. It is not a selection paper. It is a rejection paper now. We
Yeah.
don't consider it as a qualifying paper. I would rather say this is a pure rejection paper because number of students coming in to appear for this paper is multiplied, many-folded.
Many
So in
for.
that context, obviously they would also try to judge everyone, and level ground would always be there, sir. There is nothing that says that it's not a level playing ground. It's a beautiful paper, absolutely, sir. I must tell you that there are a few papers that would actually amaze you, like paper like cat, paper like csat or gmat.
Exactly.
Really good quality paper.
Exactly. So yes, we can like the students are really blessed over here. They can be rest assured that whatever sir has achieved or he has got an experience of 20-25 years shall be delivered to you in next 8 months, 7-8 months in very condensed form. So this is where they can rest assured, or they can join this channel and they can always look up to these videos, so that these videos are going to give them the best tricks possible, the best tips possible, how to solve the question in the minimum possible time. As you have rightly pointed out that DI happens to be another problem for students. So everyone keep there's a new buzz in the market. Ki, sir, DI questions we are not able to solve. DI, there is a lot of DI being asked. DI is taking a lot of time. I thought that I'll solve the DI question in 10-20 minutes. It took half an hour to solve DI only. Then I was not able to complete the paper. So obviously over here the tips and tricks and the techniques obviously are going to be very helpful. So one more thing, that let us say that many students are still scared with the fact that just 7 or 8 months are left with us. Will we be able to complete our CSAT? Will we be able to you can say come on the same pedestal as if the student who has been writing prelims since past 2-3 years? So this is another question students have been asking, ki, is it the right time to start CSAT? What should be the right time to start CSAT, and how to start CSAT?
See, sir, exactly UPSC itself, you understand, students are right now, they would be taking GS classes. Obviously, along with GS classes, they would also be taking optional classes.
Hmm.
Then, what is the time left? So, generally, students would actually join CSAT classes from October onwards.
Okay.
From October to March, I think is a very right time where they can, take on a course, finish a course, then they can actually have a test series, discuss their problems, and they are actually good to go. Now luckily again, I would say that this is a qualifying paper, so there is an advantage. You don't
Hmm.
have to win the battle. You just have to cross the mark, isn't
Like,
it? Had it been that winning a battle was concerned, then to it is less time. But if you have to cross a mark,
okay.
obviously in that class, in that way, I would suggest that there's ample of time.
Hmm.
If you are not phobic, you don't get jitters with mathematics, so I don't think the time is less. Obviously time, there is ample time to prepare for this paper. No problem at all.
Even they are phobic, even they are getting the jitters. This is what you are here for, because you will be solving this phobia over now, because student can rest they can rest assured with regard to their CSAT problem. What they can do is they can just visit regularly this page, they can subscribe to this channel, and they can watch all the videos. Moreover, videos will be coming live as well, so that student can ask the doubts in the chat section as well. And this is what we are trying to bring in for 2023 students or 2024 students. I guess most of the students have got what they wanted to listen from you. Now they are rest assured. Now they are very much content that obviously from tomorrow classes will be starting, and now they can take the right path towards their nirvana prapti of this examination. Because CSAT, cracking down CSAT has become again nirvana. Those who get into this mains examination, they are very happy. Ki, okay, we have secured good marks in CSAT. Now let us focus on mains, so that
Yeah,
we can
absolutely right.
finally get this rank. So, on the moving note, at just we will be winding up the session in few minutes. I just wanted some words from you, so that these students can actually they can see the right light, right path, and they can move forward. according to whatever is required.
Yes, see, from tomorrow onwards, there will be a lot of shortcut videos.
Okay.
So you would get it on this channel.
Okay.
So we will be continuing those videos. And on 7th of October onwards, I would be taking live batches. So
Okay.
they can join in for the live batches.
Okay.
Before that, they should enjoy the videos.
Yeah.
And I sincerely believe, sir, it's really important to, learn and have fun. So
Exactly.
my classes would actually have a lot of learning, but it would not be monotonous, tedious. They would actually love these classes. They would love to, understand new methods, and it would be very calm and composed classes. Going according to what exactly is being asked in CSAT.
Hmm.
So it would take time for them to, get into the routine. But I have seen that probably after 4 or 5 classes, students start getting a basic understanding.
Yeah.
So I invite them all, let's have good fun together.
Yeah.
Let's crack CSAT together. Let it not be a, kind of a mountain that people have made it. It is not a mountain at least, but now, it has become a mountain for a lot of students. So there
Exactly.
was kind of, we went for a survey
Hmm.
with a lot of students, and we realized that 65 to 67% of the students think that CSAT is the biggest hurdle in GS.
Yeah.
So that was a shocking, data.
Hmm.
And then we realized that it is important, and most of the students can follow the channel,
Hmm.
and they can discuss their problems also, and hopefully they would love and enjoy it as well.
Yeah, exactly. It is all about interest. And I am like very much like assured now as a faculty, as a mentor, that with your classes they'll be it will be very interesting. They'll be getting whatever is required, and ultimately they will be on the right path. And apart from that, as you have rightly pointed that from tomorrow onwards we'll be coming up with some warm up classes. Okay, so that warm
Yeah.
up videos will help them to
Mhm.
understand the base classes from 7th. So this is an announcement to all the students from this channel at this point of time, that from tomorrow onwards, shortcut videos will be coming up, so that you can just gear up yourself. You can just get aligned to the CSAT, and ultimately from 7th, when sir will be live, you shall be able to solve the questions. You shall be able to ask the queries, and this is what we have in box for you. And this is where what you need to do is you have to just subscribe to the channel, keep visiting to the videos, subscribe to our Telegram channel as well, so that you will be getting the notification. I guess this is all for today. So thank you so much for being here and for
Thank you,
guiding the
sir.
students, for
Thank you. It's always a pleasure talking to you,
clearing
sir. Thank you.
their doubts, because I guess from tonight there will be much content. Yes, from tomorrow we are doing something for CSAT, and ultimately they'll be able to qualify 2023. So thank you everyone. Thank you for watching. Thank you so much, sir. So see
Thank
you
you.
from tomorrow, and take care. Good night, sir. Good
Thank you
night,
so much.
everyone.